Good morning, Evans Park and Franklin Avenue, and welcome to a bright and beautiful Sunday morning. I thought I'd get up early today and make some cookies for the kids. That way they have something nice to snack on during the day. So to get started, I'm going to need a half a cup of butter. So in goes my butter. And to that, I need to add 1 cup of sugar. So I'm going to use my measuring cup here. Put that in like that. Okay. So to this, I'm going to add 2 eggs. And if Fiona was up, this would be her favorite part because she loves cracking the eggs into the bowl. So we're going to do 1. And we're going to do 2. And I think at this point, I can now use the whisk. So let's take that out for a minute. Okay, so there's my eggs in the bowl. Start to whisk that around. There we go. And you want to do this for a minute until light, fluffy. Already look how good that looks, right? Okay. Now, the recipe calls for a half a cup of orange juice. And I have this nifty tool here, kitchen tool. It's called a reamer. So you put the orange on top and you squeeze the orange and the juice drips down and it goes into the holes and it goes into the measuring cup. And I'm going to just cut it in half, but before I do, I'm going to roll it in my hands like this to kind of soften it up and get the juices moving inside that orange. Okay, I'm going to put it on top of the reamer and move it around. Look at that. It takes everything out of there. Doesn't waste a drop, which is perfect. Actually, boys and girls, these are halos. So you might have those at home. They come in the bag. Cooking is like art. You're always inventing and trying new things and creating masterpieces. That's why I love to cook so much. I love using my hands. I think that's why I love to cook. I love to make art. Oh, I think Boris is up. So let's see. Oh my goodness. I can't wait to show you. I didn't think I made all that. Look how much juice came out of those. Okay, so boys and girls, I need a half a cup. Into my mixture. Mix that around. Let me show this to you. Okay, boys and girls, the next thing that the recipe wants me to put into the bowl is 1 tablespoon of orange zest. Orange zest is the skin of the orange. And to get that off, I have my grater here, and I'm going to use the thin or the fine side of the grater. There's a coarse side and a fine side, and inside my grater I have this cool little container that's going to collect the zest. So I'm just going to go like this. So you just want to gently go ahead and keep doing this until you get the rest of the orange peeled off. That smells fantastic. Getting close, and I think I'm almost at the end of this. Okay, so let's give it a tap and Do you see the zest? That was. Tap that in. So let's put that in. Okay. So there is the zest. I'm going to mix that in. I wish you guys can smell that. That just smells fantastic. Now, okay, boys and girls, so now it's time to mix the dry ingredients together in a separate bowl. So I have my bowl, and I have this tool here, which is called a sifter or a strainer. So I'm going to put that on top of my bowl, and I need 2.5 cups of flour. So here's 1 cup, and a little trick is if you take a knife, and after you put the flour in, you take the back of the knife and you use it to level it off, and you get a nice, accurate amount of flour. That is really important in baking because the measurement really is important for making your recipe come out correct. It's sort of like art. You have to know exactly how much color to mix inside the other color to create a new color. So I have 2.5 cups of flour. I need 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. So let's see, here's my teaspoon. I need 1.5 of these. So here's 1.5. Right here. Okay, and now I need 1/2 teaspoon of salt. You're probably thinking salt in cookies, but yes, the reason why you put salt in cookies or in a lot of baked goods is it brings out the sweetness. It's sort of like when you mix different colors together, complement colors, say like red and green, or purple and yellow, or orange and blue. The two side by side look fantastic together, and they bring out the best parts of each other. I'm going to sift this, and you can see I'm knocking the edge of the sifter, and the reason why I'm doing that is to make sure that the baking powder and the salt is incorporated. Also, what it does is it puts some air inside of the flour, so these cookies will be nice and light and fluffy. Okay, boys and girls, now it's time to mix the wet and the dry ingredients together. So, to do this, I'm going to put just about that much into my bowl. I'm going to use my whisk again, and I'm going to start to mix it around. And you don't want to put it all in at once because you got to give the flour time to incorporate. So you just do it. Okay. So now that I got it started, I can start to pick up the pace a bit. Also, that towel will catch anything that falls onto the surface. Because when you cook, you want to try to be as neat and as clean as possible. Because after all, you are eating it. And you want to make sure that you're not making a mess in the kitchen for mom and dad to have to clean up. So always make sure that when you take out a new project or start something, you ask the people you live with at home if it's okay, and perhaps they can give you a hand with some of the harder stuff. Okay, I'm going to use my spatula just to fold the rest of that in. You don't want to overmix it. Okay, boys and girls, so now it's time to put the cookies onto the cookie sheet. So to do this, you will need 2 spoons, a cookie sheet with a piece of parchment paper on top, and your beautiful dough. So you take 1 spoon, you put it on like that, you take the back of the other spoon, and you slide it off like that. Just give it a little push. And by doing this, you can use your eyeball and you can measure to make sure that each cookie is coming out to be the same size. And I'm going to put them into the toaster oven at 350 degrees, and they're going to cook for about 10 to 12 minutes, and when they're done, I'm going to show them to you. Okay, boys and girls, the cookies are out of the oven, and they had a chance to cool on the wire rack, and you can see what I did was I covered the countertop with some more parchment paper because we're going to be creating a glaze that's going to be dripped over the cookies. Okay, so to make the glaze, I have 2 cups of confectioner's sugar. I used my reamer and I made a 1/4 cup of orange juice. And I'm also going to need 2 tablespoons of melted butter. So I'm going to pour that into my orange juice with my small whisk. And then I'm going to pour this into my powdered sugar. And I'm going to just stir it around with my small whisk until this is all mixed in. Okay, do you see that glaze that's going to be put onto the cookies? I'm going to let that just cool off for a second, give the butter a chance to cool off, and then we're going to take our spoon and we're going to drizzle it over the cookies. All right, so boys and girls, I have my glaze here. Give it a second just to cool off. I'm going to pan you down here so you can see our cookies on the cookie rack. Now, by the way, this made 27 cookies. That's an awful lot of cookies. And the cookies have cooled. That's really important because if they're warm, the sugar that's inside of our glaze will melt and it won't stick to the surface. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my spoon and I'm going to lightly pour the glaze over each cookie. And in a few minutes, that glaze is going to harden up. We have our coffee pot going. So that's what that noise is. Mrs. Price woke up and she needs her morning coffee. So I'm going to quickly do this. Okay, so boys and girls, I'm going to give this first layer some time to set up. And I have some more glaze. And I'm going to do a second coat on top. And then I will show you the finished product on the plate. Okay, boys and girls, the cookies are done. And you can see they're on the plate. And look who woke up just in time to give us a taste test. So Fiona's going to take one. And we're going to see if she can guess what the main ingredient of our cookie is. What do you think?
Orange.
That's right, it's orange. So boys and girls, I hope you like this cooking segment. Always make sure you check with an adult in the house before you do anything in the kitchen. And we hope that you try the cookies as well. And tune in next time and we'll have another fun cooking activity for you to try. Have a great day.